Well. Steph had 60 points and we lost. Such a bummer. 2021 reminiscent, and it was against the Hogs, which we go every year 1-1 against these last 3 years or so. We've always won the home game. They've always won at their place, which happened once again this year. So it's not that surprising, but it's a huge shame considering, of course, how hot Steph was in that fourth quarter where he had 22 points, hit that floater to put us up 2, then we allowed DeJounte Murray to hit a mid-range, and Steph unfortunately couldn't get the floater to go, which would have been a perfect send-off for a 52-point game or 54-point game and a game winner, but unfortunately it was a tough bucket. They forced him to go left into a floater. I think when he goes left, it's much better to and much more comfortable to go step back right. It's much harder to hit a floater with your right hand going left. And unfortunately, in the overtime, nobody else had anything with Steph. We had no point of attack defenders. We had to start Lester Quinones because, well, Kuminga and Wiggins both couldn't play in overtime. Wiggins because he got injured throughout the game, and Kuminga because he fouled out. And that, of course, led to DeJounte Murray cooking us, absolutely destroying us, with us doubling Trae Young at pretty much half court. And it opened up the game for DeJounte Murray, who unfortunately killed this game off. Steph tried his best to bring us back in it, but unfortunately didn't have enough. And it sucks. It really sucks because this was, like I keep saying, this is a stretch where before the All-Star game we can really get back to 500 or over 500 because we have some teams that are very beatable. Brooklyn next, Philadelphia without Embiid, Indiana with somewhat hurt Tyrese Halliburton, I think Utah twice, Phoenix once, and one more game sprinkled in between, which I cannot remember what it is. But unfortunately, we were not able to get it done tonight. Let me speak about the wings. Kuminga had a rough night, 4 turnovers, 6 fouls. Some of them were unlucky and rough, especially considering the over-the-back calls that we didn't get with Atlanta's bigs that were happening all night long. And I mean, Kuminga does not have a great whistle yet. He can force, some tough whistles, but on some of those drives and turnovers, I felt like, hey, he could have gotten an actual foul call on them, but unfortunately, they were more ready for him. They were putting more bodies on him and not letting him just drive to the paint as much. We tried to put him on the block more, which in the fourth quarter worked. Unfortunately, like I said, he fouled out, and he just didn't have he didn't have his best night tonight, which happened. Still 50% from the field, 16 points, and in the fourth quarter he was really good until he fouled out. And I would have liked him to handle the ball more, especially in the second quarter, where it felt like we were creating wide open Steph threes of those inverted pick and rolls, and he was he was a willing passer, but unfortunately he kinda just didn't get involved enough in that second quarter to get a good rhythm. He was out of rhythm, and he turned the ball over. Simple as that. And hey, he's been playing great for a month. He's due for an off game, and even an off game, it's not like he was horrendous, right? Which is a good thing. Unfortunately, the point of attack defense wasn't as good for him, and Trae Young got him good on some baskets. But I mean, it's Trae Young also one of the best scorers in this league, one of the best players in this league. And without Andrew Wiggins, the point of attack defense overall just suffered a lot. Wiggins is still our best point of attack defender. He got hurt. Apparently, it's a foot injury, but it looked like he tweaked an ankle when you see it in game. But it's a sore foot, and we'll have to wait and see how long he'll be out, or if he'll be out, if he'll be able to go on Monday against Brooklyn, or in one of those back-to-back games against Philly or Indiana. We should also get Moses Moody back. GP2 shouldn't be too far behind, and after the All-Star game, we should have our whole squad healthy, hopefully. And then we got to say, Draymond couldn't finish anything today, and he had a rough time guarding the centers of Atlanta. Like I said, they were getting away with some over the back fouls, in my opinion, but it is what it is. They weren't calling them. Onyeka Okongwu had 22 and 16, Clint Capella had 17 and 15, and Jalen Johnson had 21, 13 and 8. So they were feasting on our size, and which is kind of surprising, right? Considering Atlanta Hawks and their play style, but they feasted on us and did really good there. And with Looney's non-existent offense right now, it's hard to play him. He had 10 rebounds, but he was non-existent offensively, 0 shot attempts in 15 minutes. Trace played just 8 minutes, had a monster dunk, but unfortunately did not get more chances, which maybe he could have instead of Lester Quinones in the overtime, who did play really well, had 17 points, 5 rebounds, 6 of 11 from the field, shot efficiently. But maybe we could have gone with a little more size in overtime after we went, after we were called. I don't know. It's revisionist history. I would have liked to see a little more Trace instead of Looney, maybe, because he at least gives you something offensively, even though it's not, it's not special, but it's some rim pressure. And of course a big a lob threat. But I don't know, man. I think we seriously still need to consider trading for a starting caliber center, considering the way Looney has looked all year. But we don't know, man. They are apparently standing back, and I'll talk about it tomorrow in another video where I'll talk about their trade deadline and what I would do and how it probably will go. Nonetheless, the biggest issue of this game was Klay Thompson. 10 points, 4 rebounds, 2 assists, 3 steals, 4 of 19 from the field, and some of the most horrible shots you'll ever see in a basketball game taken, unfortunately, today for Klay. Where I'm just so confused with Klay sometimes because I can still see the effort, I can still see the defensive prowess from time to time, and he had a stretch where it felt like the defense was keeping him honest enough and happy enough, and he had a stretch where he took better shots, was more distributing, and now after that illness and Kuminga's ascension, he's been kind of weird and kind of has a bad vibe around him. So I just hope everything's okay outside of basketball, because it feels weird. Maybe the illness is worse than we thought and he's just tugging it out. Is that something I should say? I don't know. But 4 of 19 and some back-breaking shots, some really back-breaking shots. And unfortunately, it's hard to win when you're already a little undermanned and you have Klay playing 35 minutes horribly and Kuminga being off while you're able to essentially play. You have essentially 9 playable guys with Trace, if you can count Trace, and if you count Looney. So there's that, and maybe we should have gone more Guy Santos. He had 2 points, 2 rebounds, 3 assists, but he got kind of defensively a lot, right? He's a little lost out there defensively. So it is what it is. But with Klay, I don't know, man. I like the guy a lot. He still brings a lot to the table, in my opinion. He's been having a really solid year. Of course, not a 40 million per year deal, but it is what it is, man. The shots will hopefully fall. You just hope he takes a little less of them, and he can continue to be proud defensively, and I don't know, maybe take a little bit of a step back for a Kuminga, for a Kuminga essentially, right? Felt like Kuminga needed a little more shots, even though you understand why he didn't get the ball as much tonight with some of the turnovers and some of the way the Hawks were defending him, clogging the paint a little more, attacking his dribble drives on the first dribble essentially, so they could steal it from him. I don't know. Rough loss. As always this season, it feels like every loss is a heartbreak. But what can we do, man? Trade deadline is in a week or so, I'm pretty sure, and we'll see if they do something. I'll talk about it in tomorrow's video. Then we have the Warriors against the Nets, and then we have a back-to-back against Philly and Indiana. We'll see what happens in there, in between of there. If I do something else, we'll see. 64 Steph was awesome, unfortunately without a W, which sucks, and we'll see. And as always, be kind to yourself and to others. Love yourselves as much as possible, and yeah, just be baby.